A few minutes to talk briefly about an employee review and the importance of it. The last time I got my employee review was 3 years ago. I sat down with my boss. We talked about my performance, things I had been working on good, things that I could use work on. We talked about some salary positions that were becoming open and what I needed to do to get in that position. We talked about my future with the company, and everything went great, and we ended the meeting all feeling good, and I felt great. I got some compliments on the work I'd been doing. Then another year passed. I filled out my self-evaluation for the next year. I listed all of the training that I'd taken, any training that I took within our company to advance, and I turned that in, and then I never heard anything back. So I did that for another 2 years without hearing anything. So of course I started feeling like nobody really cared to give me my review. Nobody really was sure what I was doing. I lost a lot of confidence in my work. I wasn't really sure what was going on. So, with that being said, employee reviews can do so much. They can really boost confidence for your employee, or on the other side of that, they can really hurt the confidence of your employee. So I wanted to talk a little bit about first the meaning of an employee and the use of an employee evaluation, the positives that can come from an employee evaluation, and also the negative factors that can happen. So what is the purpose of an employee evaluation? First, you have to evaluate your employee's performance. That means let them know what they're doing well, let them know what they can work on, let them know if there's areas in the company that, too much chit-chatting, too much, surfing on the internet, or let them know the things that they're doing well. They really get their reports out on time, their paperwork looks good. Also is to provide feedback. That's the key thing. Let your employees know that they're doing a great job, or if there's things they need to work on. The downside of an employee review is not receiving one or receiving a negative one. To not receive one could spark a lack in motivation. Your employees may not feel like they're worth enough to you, not worthy enough for your time to evaluate them. They're not really sure if they're doing a good job or not. Loss of employee involvement. They may not go out of their way to do things for the company that they typically would because they're not sure that it would make a difference anyways. They might be unaware or unsure of their responsibilities. If you're not clear with them, if it's not clearly stated what they need to be doing, then there's the void of not knowing what to do or what you're expected to do. Definitely lowers morale around the office, especially if they're not the only ones not receiving their employee review. And then an employee might fear that they're doing something wrong. That's why you're avoiding talking to them. So that can be a really bad downturn of not getting a review. Some other negative effects of not having an employee review can include a loss of opportunity for communication. If there was something that an employee wanted to communicate with you that they were holding on to for a certain time when they had their review, you're losing off on that opportunity to have that talk with them. And not receiving feedback, no positive feedback, really cuts into a person's self-esteem, and it really lowers their confidence level, and so they're not really sure that they're doing a good job. There's nothing to assure them that what they're doing is good, and to keep them on the right track of doing well. On the other hand, some of the positive effects of getting an employee review include receiving positive feedback, letting the employee know they're doing well. It also includes receiving constructive feedback. Let them know things that they can work on, so an employee isn't blindsided by hey, you're not filling out your paperwork correctly. Well, that was a good opportunity to tell them that they weren't filling it out correctly. It's a good chance to discuss a career path. Maybe your employee has a change in the direction they'd like to go with the company, or you have a change in the direction you'd like to go. That's the perfect opportunity to discuss that. Talk about further education if that's something that's in their realm of work. If they need to be more educated, that's a good opportunity to talk about those things. Discuss problems or issues that the employee may have or the employer may have. It gives a great opportunity for more communication, to talk about things that either side might want to discuss, and to let an employee know their place in the company. That is a really important key, especially for me. Not knowing where you fit in is kind of a hard thing to handle, especially when you're very dedicated to a company and you really want to go far with a company. So to recap some of the positives of getting a review is to have that feedback, to have that confidence, and have that self-esteem from your boss to tell you that you are doing a good job, or hey, these are the things you can work on. On the opposite side, the negatives are, they fall into the no confidence, not sure about their work, they don't think anybody really cares for them. So after a few years, those 3 years, I finally sat down my new CFO and my old boss together in a meeting, and we went through a list of all my education that I'd like to take, everywhere that I'd like to go in the company, and all the stuff I'd like to learn. And it was a really great thing that I did that, because my boss before thought that I knew exactly where we were headed, and she thought that I knew, the path that was assigned for me, and I had no idea. So we were on different pages, so it was really great to get us all back on the same page. And since then, I've started taking my education more in a different direction that she had for me, that also ends me up in the same career path that I had in mind for myself. Thank you.